What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You guys already know what it is. It's draft season all year long, and today we have a new Indianapolis Colts mock drafts here for you guys, and we are on a new website. So the Draft Network is the site that I used originally when I started recording these mock drafts like 2 years ago, and their site was down for a long time, the mock draft simulator, and it's back up. So we are back here using this system again. Hopefully you guys like it. PFF is making you pay, and I already had a subscription with the Draft Network from before, and so I was just patiently waiting. But down here, we're going to see all of these picks be made. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. Biggest need here for the Indianapolis Colts heading into the draft, we need to get a quarterback. We're also on the clock as well, so let's try and stay within the 2 minute time frame that they give us here. Now, if we're sitting here with the number 4 overall pick, and this is a scenario that it looks like, which is most likely what's going to happen in real life, I think right here we have to go with Anthony Richardson here. I just think that this is a quarterback with the highest amount of upside, and I think has probably the best arm in this draft, has the best athleticism. Here's the thing with Anthony Richardson, right? Anthony Richardson is either going to be one hell of an NFL quarterback, or he's going to be absolutely terrible. But I think it's worth taking the chance on because of how high that upside is. We got to think about this in a positive manner. So we are going to go with Anthony Richardson here. It wouldn't shock me if the Colts decide to go with Levis as well, because Levis also has a cannon of an arm as well. And, you know, if you put all of his good plays together, you can see that this could really end up being a dominant quarterback as well. But I think the element of the run game for Anthony Richardson is just the biggest plus to everything else he already has a part of his game as well. Both of those guys need to polish up, but I'd feel much more comfortable taking Anthony Richardson with that number 4 overall pick there for the Indianapolis Colts. So I'm not sure how you guys are going to feel about this. I really like how this is laid out. I feel like we can see all of the picks on the screen now, rather than having to scroll back and forth all of the time. So that's what round 1 looks like right there if you want to pause it. But we are sitting here now with our second pick number 36 now. Okay, what do we want to go ahead and do here? Not another quarterback. Now, Will Levis is still here. That's really interesting. It's possible that the entire league is just never mind on Will Levis. I mean, you watch him, he's just not as flashy as Josh Allen was, who a lot of people are comparing him to. So, I don't know. Maybe the Draft Network also agrees with that. Okay. We could definitely look to get a corner. That's definitely one of the top priorities, in my opinion, after getting rid of Stephon Gilmore. So you have Julius Brents, Emmanuel Forbes, Deonte Banks. All of these guys I really, really like. Not sure how you guys feel about the tackle position. Braden Smith is going to be there. I feel like Bernard Raymond still needs to get some more playing time. You invested a relatively high pick on him, so I don't see them immediately replacing him. We could also make an emphasis on the guard position. I still think that we could upgrade in that interior offensive line, so O'Cyrus Torrence really wouldn't be a bad pickup here. However, there is a cornerback that I really like that I'm eyeing out. It's Deonte Banks out of Maryland. I have him as my number 4 cornerback in this year's draft, and I actually have him as a first-round talent. So for me personally, I feel like this is great value, also fills a need, and this is going to be a starting cornerback for us day 1. So I really like the pick right here. Again, a guy that I feel really strongly about, that I feel like should go into the first round. And it's possible that he doesn't, as he does in this scenario here. So pretty happy addition right there, and is our immediate replacement for Stephon Gilmore. But Deonte Banks, just phenomenal in man coverage. Just really sticky coverage, very consistent coverage. Maryland's going to put out some pretty good defenders this year in this year's draft. Deonte Banks definitely at the top of that list. Okay, so we do not have this 3rd round pick up here at the top where we've had our other picks. We're going to be picking here at 80. If you guys like this website, the Draft Network, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any criticisms, leave that as well. We do have a couple of trade offers, but I'm most likely going to sit and pick here. Will Levis is still here. Now, I don't see a scenario where he falls this much, and I would be surprised even if he fell out of the first round. But interesting scenario to be in here. Okay, Trent Simpson's still there. I really like Jordan Battle, and I personally feel like we could upgrade at the safety spot. But, I still want to make an addition to the interior of the offensive line if it still presents itself. Like, okay, Steve Avila's here. I could potentially wait. We could also get Andrew Voorhees, and he wouldn't be playing this year because of his ACL. But we could take a chance on that one. So, okay. I think I'm going to take my chances there because Avila could be there at our next pick at 107. I will take a look at the trade offers now. Let's see. So, pick 80. Let's see. Okay. Because we don't want next year's picks. We don't want 2024 picks. And this is going to be pick 82, and we just get a 7. So, not really feeling any of those trade offers right there. I am going to go ahead and take Jordan Battle here. Jordan Battle is another guy that I have listed as a first-round talent, and that might be an unpopular opinion. And safety isn't really the biggest need, but I feel like this could be a big-time contributor on the defensive side of the ball nonetheless. So we're going to go ahead and take Jordan Battle out of Alabama. Just very, very good instinctual skills. And they talk about how he's not the most athletic safety in this class, but you know, the dude is still quick. The dude is very intelligent, makes a play on the football. I really like Jordan Battle. You know, I'm not sure why he's not getting talked about more. I'm not sure why these mock draft simulators don't have him higher up on their big boards. It is what it is. But right now, I feel like we have 3 first-round talents in our draft right now. So that's saying a lot. Okay, what do we want to do here? So are the interior offensive linemen still here? Okay, so Steve Avila went, and maybe some of you guys were calling for him at pick 80. I would totally understand that. There's also other guys like Jarrett Patterson that I think are a lot lower on this board. You know, compared to where I have them valued. I think Jarrett Patterson could be a day 1 starter. So that's something that we could definitely take a look at, and probably will take him at about 178. So I do really like Andrew Voorhees, though. I feel like he can have a huge bounce back if he comes back from that ACL quickly. Edge rusher, I know that edge is sort of a priority for this team. I just feel like there's a good rotation of guys. You know, there's not any huge names on the edge, but a solid enough rotation where you feel comfortable putting either of those guys in if they have fresh legs. So we could definitely take a look at that there. Who do I like at the top of the board here? Oh, Tyreek Stevenson I also think would be a huge addition. Eli Ricks as well. Okay. Oh, even some of these wide receivers. I mean, that would, you know, really make things interesting here. Okay. So we pick again at 140. I wonder what this thinks. So they also think that edge rusher is also a priority. So, you know, I don't mind it because a lot of the edge rushers are at the top of the board right now. And we're drafting here in round 4, you know. So I don't really mind as much. I'll go ahead and take Byron Young out of Tennessee right here. You guys let me know what you guys think about these draft picks in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate any kind of feedback that I get. I read all the comments. So just adding more depth to that rotation of edge rushers. And who knows, maybe Byron Young does turn out to be like the premier edge rusher that we're looking for, maybe a potential steal in round 4. You never know. But I will say with how much the Indianapolis Colts do rotate along the defensive line and get, you know, everyone in, I think there's a chance that, you know, he can make some pretty explosive plays in his time in Indianapolis. Okay. Sitting here with pick 140, we could address that wide receiver spot. I don't feel super confident about the group, right? You have Pittman, you have Pierce. Still want to see Pierce do a little more. He was a big time contributor this past season at the wide receiving position for the Colts, but I do expect a little bit more out of him year 2, considering he's a 2nd round pick, and then Isaiah McKenzie is your number 3. So we could potentially look to add another guy right here. I'm taking a look at Nathaniel Dell right now. I feel most confident about him out of the guys that we've seen so far. Ronnie Bell as well, I also really like. I actually might take Ronnie. Oh, even Charlie Jones. Like, Charlie Jones would actually be a pretty solid number 3 option in the slot. We don't want to miss out on any of these interior offensive linemen, specifically the guards. Okay, I think we can still wait on that. So I'm going to go wide receiver here. There's a lot of receivers, you know, near the top of this board at the time. I just want to make sure that I get my guy. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and take Charlie Jones right here. It is kind of a reach on the overall big board here for the Draft Network, but I feel confident about that. I think that's a solid slot wide receiver that you're picking up here. And I think could potentially be a starter too. I don't think, you know, if you bring in another wide receiver, I don't think it's a lock for Isaiah McKenzie to be the starter on this team. So, and it would be a huge help to whether Gardner Minshew or Anthony Richardson is starting week 1. You know, it's just huge benefit to have more weapons on the field whenever you can. Okay. Jacorian Bennett is also another guy I like. Is another one of these Maryland defenders that I was mentioning before. This guy would also be a slot cornerback. Had some flashes, but you're really just banking on the upside of his athleticism, which was on full display at the combine this year. Okay. Riley Moss, I believe, was the highest rated cornerback career in this year's draft. And I believe is also the only white cornerback in this year's draft. So that's interesting as well, too. Fun facts being thrown out there. Okay. Oh, wow. So I just completely messed this up. I'm not going to lie. We didn't get the guard. So I wonder if there's any tackles that we could potentially slide into guard. Or maybe even some of the centers. But I'm looking at that list. I'm just not, super ecstatic about any of that. Yeesh. Maybe I messed up, guys. That's okay. We're going to just keep going. Maybe we'll get somebody in free agency. We'll go ahead and take Jacorian Bennett here. We're just going to go BP at this point. So that's pretty unfortunate. I mean, that's just the way that the draft goes. But I do feel like, nonetheless, right? I mean, I understand that the offensive line was really bad. But we have some guys in there that I think just underperformed last year. Like Quentin Nelson, I feel like has been underperforming. Braden Smith as well. Maybe Bernard Raymond takes a leap in year 2. Ryan Kelly. I mean, aside from like Will Fries, I feel like there are some solid names in this group, and they just weren't able to work together last year for some reason. So I don't think it's an issue with the players. I think it's just an issue about the chemistry that the team had last year. So yes, I am trying to defend my pick, or defend my decisions of not taking a guard. I thought I could play the board a little bit better, but I guess people were high on Jarrett Patterson as I was in the simulation. So, it is what it is. That kind of stuff happens, and we just got to live with our mistakes. Okay. What do we want to do here? So we have 3 more picks. What do we want to do here? I don't want to double up on too many of these positions, but wow, Tajay Spears. Okay, I understand that this is like a really, really good running back group that you have in Indianapolis right now. But Tajay Spears, man, I mean, 178. What round is this? Yeah, we're sitting here at the bottom of round 5, top of round 6. If Tajay Spears is still here, you got to take him. I mean, I think you could argue that he could potentially like make his way into like running back 2 category on this depth chart. I feel that strongly about him. I actually have him as my number 3 running back in this year's draft. So, and even then, right, even if he doesn't contribute as a running back, and I'm completely wrong about his talent, he would be a contributor on special teams, which is what a lot of these guys in the later rounds are here for anyway. So I feel like that's a really quality player we're getting there at the back end of round 5 right there. I really like the way that this draft has went. Aside from the fact that we weren't able to get an offensive lineman that we really, really wanted, and it's not a particularly strong guard class as well. I feel all right with it. Okay. Oh, man, there's someone that I really like, and he just went. Isaiah McGuire. I really like Isaiah McGuire out of Missouri. That would be a pretty solid pickup at this point. Oh, wait, he didn't go. We're just really low on the board. Okay, well, I was really upset that he just went, and then he didn't. So I'm going to go draft him here. I don't want to lose him here. And what pick is this now? Where are we? Are we in round 7 already? Was that a round 7 selection? Yeah, that was a round 7 selection. I'd be ecstatic to get Isaiah McGuire in round 7. I don't think that is particularly accurate. Okay, what do we want to do here? I don't want to get too many of the same positions here. Maybe we could get another wide receiver. Tyler Scott, former teammates with Alec Pierce. Bryce Ford Wheaton. Jalen Moreno Copper. Parker Washington. Why is Parker Washington still here? What the heck? Okay, snag. Yeah. Okay, look. I really like the way that this draft went, honestly. I feel really good about the way that this draft went. I got a lot of guys that I really like. I don't feel like we reached for a lot of these players either. I felt like we stayed true to our board and really got some long-term contributors on this team. But, I mean, obviously, you look at this draft class, you're excited for Anthony Richardson, I mean, this could be the franchise-changing player and quarterback that this team has been looking for I don't know how long now. But Chris Ballard just needs to get on it. He needs to get a quarterback in this year's draft. You cannot keep recycling these old and washed quarterbacks because you think it's going to help you contend. This team is ready to contend, but they just need the right quarterback. And I feel like Anthony Richardson definitely puts you in a better spot than these last 6 years since he's been the GM through this carousel of quarterbacks. But again, we get Richardson there with the number 4 overall pick. We get Deonte Banks and Jordan Battle in the mid rounds to kind of solidify our secondary, get some big time playmakers there. And then we have some guys who could potentially be starters, in these off-season training camps and competitions here with Byron Young, Charlie Jones, Jacorian Bennett, all the way down to Spears McGuire in Washington. I feel like these guys could all compete for starting spots, and that's the thing that I love the most about this draft. So, again, unfortunately, we weren't able to adjust the offensive line, which would have been great, and I think they will in real life. I don't think that they'll be as flexible as I was in this year's draft to try and wait for that position, but it is what it is. I feel happy with this draft. Hopefully you guys do, and if you guys did enjoy this draft or you're just a fan of the Indianapolis Colts, hit that subscribe button down below. We are on the road to 600 subscribers, and until then, I will see you guys all later. Peace.